Hey guys, it's me T coming at you with just like a simple update type of video. It's really interesting because I feel like there's like so much going on today, energetically that I just feel like it's kind of fucking crazy. Like I don't know if you guys have been feeling, but that's why I wanted to kind of create this video for you guys to be like just let you know that I'm feeling it too, and also it's like so hot in here. I'm like greased up. Uh, what was I gonna say? So I was gonna say that like plus I'm drinking tea, so that's really hilarious, right? Um, I don't know. There's just like so many things that are coming up for me that I don't know if they're coming up for other people as well. So that's why I was like, you know what? Let me just put a video out there. And I feel like I need to process something. So I feel like something's gonna come up. Um, it's very interesting. I'm feeling like all these feelings, and it's hard to like pinpoint just one, which is very interesting. Definitely, I'm gonna like solve this, like, kind of this ungroundedness that I have going on, I feel, with a for sure shower tonight. Like, that's definitely happening. It's not even gonna be like a morning shower, it's gonna be like a night shower. um yeah, I don't know. I was gonna like, so my videos, it's really funny. Like, my videos are like funny, but they're kind of serious at the same time. And I guess it's because like I'm a Capricorn and I just like, I like take life seriously, right? So, and I don't want to say I take life seriously anymore. I want to say I take life playfully because I want to counteract the seriousness. I don't want to have, like, if I'm born with kind of a serious mind that I feel like, is so easy to get into, then I need to counteract it, right? So that's basically why I've said to so many people, I'm not doing this life unless it's fun. And so I like have to stick to that, right? Because it will just balance me out. But also I love that feeling of fresh, fun, new, just like flexible, all that stuff. Like, it's just a good time. So today, I want to say I had a productive day, but then I just like, it was kind of interesting, and I don't know because if it's because I came home, but like I needed a nap, and then I took the nap and I'm just kind of like in a little bit of a funk. I don't know. It's not even a funk though. It's just it's weird. I don't even know what to label it. It's just like, I want to say like a transitional type of energy that is like messing around with me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is, so today, the message, one thing that I wanted to tell you is, when you're dealing with somebody else, or when you're dealing with yourself, or when you're dealing with a scenario, right? So nouns, let's talk about nouns. When you're dealing with nouns that kind of piss you off, or kind of are getting you to the aspect of like you're about to go to the next level, I need you to remember this video and take a step back and relax, because the whole thing is, it's not actually easier said than done. It's actually easier done instead of saying it. So that's all I gotta say. So don't believe that bullshit, because it's done. Because I do it all the time. Like, I have to tell myself, okay, relax, because when you feel yourself like kind of basically about to lift off, like in a negative way, then I have to chill. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, wait, chill. Because sometimes we only perceive, or we only project what we only perceive, if that makes sense. So if you're seeing, so basically just take yourself, simply put, you're one person. You have one perspective. But in order to have a back and forth type of scenario going on, there's two people involved, right? So you have to be able to relax in order to not react. And then you also have to be able to kind of receive, and or even ask a question towards another person to be like, what's really going on here? And just have that space of vulnerability be there, right? Like, so because today I witnessed like two adults, like adult agey type of people. That's what I want to call it, because a it wasn't like dealt with mature at a maturity level that like adults want to be at. which is fine because you have to just let it be what it is, you know what I'm saying? But I stood back and it was this interesting type of show that went on. I was like, oh, this is really happening right now, you know? And it was a learning lesson because that's what I kind of do with my life. Like when I, what is it? When I like, how do I want to express it? Like when I am around people, I love people because they teach me so much more than I as a one person know, right? So everybody has a different take on things. Everybody has a different type of, perspective. Everybody knows different things. Everybody has heard about different things. So it's really like to be open-minded is to be all of these things, is just to be open to what another person has to say to you rather than going into reaction mode and being like my way or the fucking highway, because sometimes you have to literally acknowledge that your way is not the best way. And sometimes and actually I want to say majority of the time, the best way is to reach like this synced upness. So it's actually a form of love by hearing another person out, but also by I lost my train of thought because I hear something else going on outside of my room. So it's basically it's taking your idea and giving it credit, but also giving another person credit for their idea, and basically reaching a happy medium together is basically love, right? So that's what you want. That's the whole point of every scenario, is like people are thinking like, oh, I have to, compromise and shit like that. It's like compromise is actually the highest form of love, and it's beautiful, right? The whole thing is we all just, because we are one of ourselves, we are literally one in and of ourselves, put it that way. There's only one of us. We all want our way to happen, which, because we don't see another way. So it's kind of like, to ask or to be open to somebody's opinion is actually being in self-love, and it's gifting yourself a lot more than what you already have. Do you get what I'm saying? I hope you do, because that's a large type of wisdom that's there. So it's like you have to be open-minded to things like that so that things can just flow better. You know what I'm saying? Like there are a lot of people in a managerial position that really are like, oh, it's their way and no other way. But it's like, if you took everybody's opinion into perspective and just thought about the benefits, you may just end up making a better decision that, that really benefits the entire situation and yourself and the person that came up with it, because they feel great and everybody's fucking happy, right? So that's the whole thing. So being a leader and a manager is a leader, by the way. It's like a type of leader. But I've also come to realize, and I believe that it's right, is a leader is way different than a manager. Like you can be both. But the thing is, to be both, you're in a confused state of mind. So either you have to be a leader or a manager. I chose in this life, once I found that piece of information and I resonated with it, I was like, wow, that's fucking so true. I was like, okay, so I have to just acknowledge that I'm a leader. I'm not a manager, because I don't like to manage people. I really don't. I like fucking free shit going on. And I'm not talking about like free shit like, oh, free giveaways. Like that's beautiful too, But I'm talking about free spirited people who get to be themselves and who literally feel comfortable in sharing their ideas. And this way I could just like, I'm just like really good at like put it this way, a dance routine together. and actually it's like funny because it's like not, by the way, I have crazy hair today, and I have, because it's so freaking humid out, and I decided not to brush my hair out after my nap. And then I also have crazy fucking balloons from my birthday that are still going. Look at that. I would have gotten rid of it, but honestly, this is the thing. I live with my mom, and one of the people that I live with, and I feel as though if I get rid of them right now before they die out, actually there's a Valentine's Day balloon too, though. We'll keep that one until Valentine's Day. But but these are going strong. That's the funny part. So, and yeah, what I was going to say there is my mom is the type of person that doesn't like to let go of squat. So it's like if she saw that I got rid of these balloons, like she'd be like, "Oh my god," so like upset, and then she'd make me feel guilty, and then I'm just like, you know what, just fucking keep the balloons for a little bit and just fucking throw them out when I feel like it. And I felt like it a long time ago. I just like can't get myself to do it. Actually, I think they're also tangled, which is fucked because of the fact that they're like tangled on this piece of figurine that my mom also chose, and I was just like, I don't like this figurine, but it's like you gotta keep it around because your mom bought it. You know what I'm saying? What are you gonna do? Anyhow, I don't mean to fuck around like and digress, but somehow that made it into this video. What else? By the way, ginger tea and honey are always going to be in my life. It's going to be in my cabinets for sure as a staple food. They help me with my nerves completely, like both of them as a combo. Also lemon. They help me with my nerves, and I fucking am so appreciative of it. So anyhow, so what was I going to say? So long story short, yeah, just relax before you do shit. Before you react, because, somebody actually, like, said to me today, which is kind of true, that, you can't act like that. Like, and really, it's true. It's like, you can't act like that at a job, but you can't act like that in your life. Like, don't get fucking crazy for no reason. And especially for no reason when people who approach you aren't even thinking about what's going on in their world. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like you have to be a little bit more you have to allow a person to be more observant. And if you're seeing or feeling that they're not, don't let yourself get to that reactive zone. Like that's a practice that you want to put into play. Like be very aware of that and conscious of it, to be like, but the only way you can be conscious of it is if you allow yourself to feel into a situation. And that's how you know the truth of the matter, that this is not about you or getting like attacked or yelled at or whatever. This is about they have an issue going on, So don't be afraid to be a leader of your life, and also just like approach this person and be like, hey, what's really going on here? Or like even just like compassion. Okay, so moving on to compassion. Funny. So I'm drinking yogi tea. Shout out to yogi tea. Hold on one second. The message is compassion will make you beautiful. And the whole thing is, it's like, that's actually a truth. Now, I have to tell you right now, though, I am struggling a little bit with compassion. Like, I have to pray every day for compassion, because I've reached the point in my life where I thought I didn't give a fuck before, but I really don't give a fuck now. Like, I really don't give a fuck. So I don't know how to, so my whole thing is, and like sometimes it's scary because you feel like, okay, now that I don't give a fuck, that means I have no compassion. But the whole thing is, it's like, I really don't give a fuck about certain things that are meaningless to me, right? And kind of like a dude. Like, I am like a dude. Like, I just, sometimes, like, they don't fucking, when shit's like, what I like to keep things super simple, right? And I try my best to just stay on that side of life. But the whole thing is, it's like, sometimes people like overcomplicate shit. And when you overcomplicate shit, like I have no compassion for that. Like, I'm just like, ugh, and I just like react, like a human being does. So it's whatever. And especially when it comes to family shit, like I am no angel whatsoever. So my whole thing is, it's like, yeah, I'm praying about that. So it's really funny that came up today, because I just feel like that's my weakness as of late. And I'm like, and I don't know what compassion actually, like, it's interesting. I don't know if I've reached compassion with myself just yet. Like I'm every day is like kind of a growth, a growth in progress type thing. So I want to say, like, I get more compassion with myself. But the thing is, guys, I'm a strong person, and like, I may not seem that way, but I am. Like, I'm very strict and I'm very strong in different aspects of my life. Not in all, because sometimes you also have to acknowledge that you have weaknesses along with strengths. And I choose to really side in a positive type of stubborn way to really build up on my strengths, and just to say, hey, not fuck the weaknesses, but be aware of the weaknesses. Do you get what I'm saying? This way I know that if I'm aware of my weakness and somebody else comes through, like comes into my world, I could be like, oh, here's what you can, help me out with, or here's what, you'd love to do. It's not helping me out. It's here's what you'd love to do because you just love doing it. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. And of course, everybody has free will and wants to help you out or doesn't want to help you out. They have that fucking choice. So, but the whole thing is, it's that's the key to I don't know what I was about to say there. I lost my train of thought. The whole thing is, you just have to, I don't know. So basically, I was talking about compassion. So compassion has been like one of the fucking toughest Zen learnings that I've had to have for myself. Like, I really just don't know how to do it, Like, sometimes they're like, oh, compassion is like, self-forgiveness and self-love and all this stuff. But, but I just feel like I kind of live this life a little in the fast lane sometimes. So I don't have time for the compassion. Like, I'm just like, just go, get stuff done and, and like forget about self. Sometimes I do that, but, and that's why I need like a human reminder to, like, in the future to be like, bro, you need to chill, or you need to schedule some shit in. Like, I've been doing that, like, here and there. Like, tomorrow, I'm excited because I have a massage tomorrow. So it's like, that's super dope. And that's showing myself compassion in terms of, I literally have to like look up the word compassion and what it means. And I'll actually post it on my Facebook page, because of the fact that, like, literally, I don't know what it means. I don't, like, that's so crazy. So I have to kind of, like, I don't know what it means down to the details of the nitty-grittiness of it all. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's, like, the first step of, gaining clarity. Like, what does this mean, and how am I going to work it into my life? Because I believe in it, but I also have not, and I'm not surrounded by it. Like, I mean, yes, I am in different, I want to say in different situations of your life. Of course you are. It's not like I've never seen it in my life. Like, kindness is a compassion, or it might even be a synonym of it, right? So kindness and compassion go hand in hand. But the whole thing is, it's like, sometimes the ego gets in the way of that. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, oh, well, you can do more, or you haven't reached a certain point of happiness yet where you're deserving of compassion, It's pretty fucking sad, actually. And it's pretty fucking sad that all of us in this world, together, cannot either send ourselves that, or, send the world that, or send another person that, right? So, like, this is what I'm trying to say is, like, if a person's coming at you, you're actually not sending them any type of good thoughts. You're actually sending fuck you thoughts, like, you just did that to me, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, it's like, if now that you're watching this video, know better and do better, which is, if a person is coming at you in attack mode, let them do it. And then if you have to stand up for yourself, that's compassion for yourself. Stand up for yourself and your truth. However, at the same time, or amongst it all, stay quiet majority of the time and just pray for them and let them go off their fucking rocker. Let them just do it. Some people just see, and this is interesting, I'm going to bring up the aspect of light. Some people find that those that shine their lights brighter than what they're used to seeing, out and about in their world, it's like that person wants to be so much of the light that they're actually frustrated within themselves that they can't seem to have found it as to turn their light on as bright as another person, and or the other person that they're seeing in front of them. And so they, instead of just like, creating this vulnerability aspect of being like, what do you do with your life that like actually makes you like look and feel really confident or whatever, as a human being, you're actually these weaker minded people and this weaker energetic type of people, if that makes any sense, or those people that are so used to a weaker energy, like in terms of expectation of themselves and what they're being surrounded by on a daily basis, they tend to explode in the people's faces that are of the light, right? And it's just that, and it's super sad because actually to be of the light, I'm going to say, is easy, yet it's also not for the lazy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like there's work to be had and there's work to be done there. There is, certain routines you have to stick to. There's happiness. I was going to say it comes at a cost, but it doesn't come at a cost. Yes and no. It does. It does and it doesn't. But the whole thing is, see, it's so funny. I'm like so open-minded that like I have to like double think like with what I'm saying, I have to kind of double think like different scenarios that would apply to like the idea that I'm talking about, because I'm like, I feel like, I don't want to be right. I want to actually put out the happy knowledge, right? So it's kind of like I have to think about like but I want to, I want to help you guys out. So obviously like I want it to be accurate, but I don't need it to be right, Like, but yes, I do. Do you know what I mean? But yes, I do. And it needs to be happy. It does. It needs to be some sort of, it needs to be happy, but it also needs to be the truth is what I'm trying to say. Like I need to get down to the truth of it all. So that by being quote unquote right is I'm really searching for the truth as I'm speaking to you guys. So sometimes I'm like out as I'm speaking just because it just allows me to process more of what maybe was, within me, but needed to come out, clearly to you guys, to all of us, to me too, just to learn. By the way, look at this hilarious mug. Can I just tell you, I love this mug so much. I fell in love with it. It looks like a honeycomb. I don't know what it was. I was just like, I saw it was yellow and I was like, it's so chunky monkey. And it's amazing. I love it. And it's so like, it's flared, like it's so super fun. So anyhow, I don't know why. It's like so eclectic and weird, but yet simple and perfect. Love it. It's so me. So what was I going to say? So yeah, so so that's basically what I wanted to say. Also, here's another thing, reflective of today, is energy speaks first, words are understood second, just so you know. So when people, and here's an example of what I tried to lecture my mom with today, is we have a grandma that's living with us, right? She's 90 years old. God bless, right? Fabulous. Like, I like every day when I think of that, I'm like, holy shit, we're so fucking so that's why I'm like, I totally like am super blessed for that connection. I mean, not that I'm not blessed that it happened, but I'm blessed to be here, right? So that's what I'm saying. So, and we're gonna use my presence very wisely. That's all I'm gonna say. So my mom is having little, and this is like with every family, right? So my mom is like because my mom's her caretaker, and she's having a little bit of a frustrating time because, when you're in your 90s, you tend to lose your mind a little bit. Like, you're not all there. And especially if you're not the type to kind of work on your mind all the time, you're going to lose it faster, right? And may that not be the case, but I'm just saying that you constantly have to be in learning and knowledge mode, guys. That's what you have to do for yourself. That is also self-compassion and self-love, to just give yourself brain food, So make sure to be reading all the time, taking in really fucking quality information, or listening to an audiobook. I'm so obsessed with these things. Excuse me. So what was I going to say? So basically I was just telling my mom, and it's funny because I'm such a feeler that I feel everything. And, earlier on today, my mom was like, screaming. Like, I'm talking about, like, not even screaming, but like just out of her own frustration, she was like having an issue with my Jima. And then it's funny because like she couldn't really yell at her because my mom has so much compassion too. So my mom was like trying to yell at her, but like it really wasn't being like energetically understood. Like she couldn't really like, put in the yelling, like, strict and stern yelling. She was kind of like brains, like I just said. But also, I was telling her that, your energy, like if you want her to understand something, you cannot be screaming at her or like, not it's not screaming, but like, you can't be like startling her, put it that way, startling her with your frustration and energy and like and yelling at her, but then also trying to have her understand you because guess what? You're basically throwing like double swords at her and she doesn't know what fucking which one to like catch, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like do yourself a favor, relax when it comes back down to and that's what it comes back down to. That's what I meant to say. It's like it just comes, and it's funny because I didn't actually notice how connected they are, but it's like, yeah, it's talking about like the whole idea behind it is just relax first and just like tell her that you need to get away, but also at the same time, you know you have to say, like, this is the funny part is you have to, when you speak to people, you have to treasure your words so much so. And actually, it's not even your words, it's your feelings. So much so. And this is actually so beautiful. I just felt like that came out of my soul. Oh my God, I love it. So you have to treasure your feelings so much that you're willing to stand up for them. And you have to also, like, just as a kid, right? Like, kids are beautiful beings, right? But at the same time, they need to be taught foundational grounding of sorts, right? So that'll like kind of keep you in line, right? Now the whole thing is it's like I don't know what the sorry, somebody's like knocking. We can get that later. Okay, I'm gonna try to finish this in 3 minutes. Okay, because that is gonna cut out and I don't need a part two. So long story short is like you don't need to start yelling and stuff. They understand you if you're speaking their language. It's just that you need to assert yourself when it comes down to your feelings, and you need to drive that home. Like, you need to take that to the finish line. So what I was going to say is a lot of parents dealing with children, they don't take their tones to the finish line. Like, you have to understand, if you're standing up for what you believe in as a parent and as to what's going to keep your kid in line, you have to take that all the way to the finish line. You cannot be lenient with it. Do you know what I'm saying? And just stick to what you said. And even if you're wrong, you can definitely create vulnerability and apologize for it later if it's a misunderstanding or whatever. But if you go with your feelings, you're almost all the time going to be right and happy. I'm telling you, because that's your instinctive gut. And that's where, you're also going to teach your kids energetically that this is what they should do for themselves, because they can't get away with it. They have to listen to their gut. They also have to listen to you because you are their guardian as a parent. And so when you do that, you have to be very clear and concise and very simple. You cannot overcomplicate it with like your emotions and all that stuff. You have to put your emotions to the side, feel into your emotions, yes, but put them to the side and then speak to how you want them to be in terms of like, this is how it's going to go down. And if you want to go into why, you explain why, but sometimes you don't even need to. And that's the whole thing. So, children and elderly parents are exactly grandparents, I guess in my case, are the same. They're the same. And we all are. That's the whole thing. We have to realize that we all are. We all want the same things. So you have to speak energetically first in terms of what you need to have happen so that you can be happy, and then things will get done and you will see how that energy shifts. So good night, guys. Love you, love you. Bye. Mwah. Ciao.